Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're taking a look at mill deck in Thomas format. So we haven't played a mill deck in quite a long time now, and mill has gotten quite a few cards recently, and one of those cards are actually pretty insane. So that's why I want to check out mill today. So the card that I'm talking about is this card. It's a 1-mana 0/2 that says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills 3 cards. If 5 or more mana was spent to cast that card, that player mills 10 cards instead. So currently in Timeless, the only other mill creature is the Ruin Crab, so just by adding this card into the deck is already a huge boost to the mill deck. However, I firmly believe this card is way better than the crabs just because this triggers on any instant or sorcery spells. So turn 1, you play the Tidecaller, and just by playing Daze, not only can you protect this card, but you're also milling at the same time. And not to mention, every removal spell that you cast, such as Fatal Push, that can also trigger the mill 3, but every cantrip as well, that's also going to mill 3. And there's another secret tech here with the Tidecaller is that it says it can target any player, so you can even target yourself. And this is actually really useful for triggering something like a treasure cruise so that you can treasure cruise anytime you want. So that's another bonus perk with the card. But let's say if you want to trigger the other side of this card, which is if 5 or more mana was spent to cast a spell, that player mills 10 cards instead. So potentially you could even cast a treasure cruise for 5 mana. If you do get to that stage, you could potentially mill 10 cards just by casting the treasure cruise, which is really cool. And then bonus points if you hold up Daze and Force of Will as well. You can also mill more cards while also casting treasure cruise as well if opponent's trying to counter it, things like that. So it's a really powerful card that's super flexible. And I think the best thing about the Tidecaller is the fact that you actually don't need to play clunky mill spells to actually mill your opponent. And another thing is, because we are adding more creatures, we have Exhibition Tidecaller, we also have Ruin Crab, and we also have Hydroponics Architect. So we have Hydroponics Architect already synergizing with Daze, but then the Daze also triggers Tidecaller as well. But then if you put the land bag that got hit by the Architect into your hand, you can also draw with that card if you play that again. While you're also doing that, the Ruin Crab is also triggering off the land coming down on the battlefield. So we got some really good synergies there, but because we play 12 copies of 1-mana creatures, we get to also play this card called Kitsune's Technique, which is another new card that came out in the last set, which is a 6-mana card that has Sneak. Basically, it's a ninjutsu card, but it can also work for instant spells as well. You sneak a card for 2 mana, and then target opponent mills half their deck, round it up. So if this Kitsune's Technique can mill like 10 cards, it's already really good. Because the other 2-mana mill spell, Glimpse the Unthinkable, only mills 10 cards. So if you can mill 10 cards with this card, honestly the card has done its job. So anything above that, it's extremely good. So Hengse, I'm gonna be hopping over to some Thomas Versus 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. Alright, let's take a look at this deck today. Looks okay. I'm going first with the Tidecaller. We'll see. A Ragavan. I think I'm okay with that. I hope I get a land here. Okay, so it's that kind of deck. I got a land. So I don't need a second treasure cruise. The question is, do I surgical their Oscilla Pride? I think I'm playing a Fatal Push for sure. I'm just not sure about the surgical part. So I'm gonna Fatal Push this. Ooh, okay, so I mill the Johnny? What if I get rid of an Amped Raptor here? This is a pretty pesky card, right? So they have a Static Prison and a Voice of Victory. But they actually don't have that much. Let's look at their deck. It's just a stock Mardulis, double Hexing Sculptures. Alright. So they're probably gonna play a Voice of Victory here. No. There's 4 cards in the yard. There's about to be 5. I could actually mill myself. Okay, so another Surgical. We can play a Kitsune's Technique, which isn't bad. Okay, so I think I'm just going to do that. Did I mill another Guide of Soul? Not the Guide of Soul, the card that they have in their hand with Victory. What is an annoying card? We've already milled 3 of Johnnies. I don't think we're gonna be expecting the Johnny here. I've milled 1 Bowmaster. Actually, because I have a Tidecaller, I shouldn't use this. Thinking about it. That's a good card. 17 cards remaining. Get back to Loris. Play that again. This Force of Will is going to be dead because of that. Mystic Sanctuary. Could they get back a Treasure Cruise right now? But probably not. Okay, we got a Ruin Crab. Seems like it's like a Bowmaster, almost. The way it's going. Let's get rid of a Bowmaster right now. I have to get rid of a Ruin Crab though. We milled 1 Bowmaster plus 3 cards from the Tidecaller. That's not bad. 9 cards remaining. Oh, maybe I should have actually gotten rid of a bombardment, thinking about it. Probably have to block this. Since the Guide of Soul plus a Voice of Victory. Okay, I think that should be over. Alright. Tidecaller. That was pretty good. Right, we got Mihung Massacre, Toxic Deluge, Fatal Push, Stern Scolding. We're gonna minus the Force of Wills because it's a card disadvantage. Maybe like 2 Hydroponics. I don't think we're gonna be attacking the Kitsune this time. Especially going second. Archive. Ponder to get a second land. Could be good. Double Archive is really strong. My problem is we only have 1 land here. I should just do it, right? Half their library already gone. Okay, we got a second land, but it's okay. Field of Ruins is still okay. I'd still take that. I think I'm just playing... I'm not sure about this Flooded Strand. Maybe I should have actually played the Ponder. We'll see. A Hexing Squelcher. I'm probably gonna get rid of a Hexing Squelcher. Although, the only counterspell is a Daze now, so... Not sure. Four cards in the graveyard. Ooh, Ruin Crab is a good card. Wait, they got rid of a Field of Ruin? Okay. That's a bit surprising. So we find our another land. I don't think I can get to the Ruin Crab. Isn't it just better to Treasure Cruise here? Ponder top deck is good, but... I think we just try to go for the lands here. Yeah, we gotta land. We're about to take a lot of damage though. That's for sure. Opponent not putting a Loris down is actually pretty huge. But I take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I go to 1, which means if they top deck a Bowmaster, I lose. Kinda hoping opponent just puts the, you know, there you go. So get okay, so Daze is pretty good because if they top deck a 1-mana card, I can Daze and then Ponder. More Ruin Crabs into a Scalding Tarn. That's actually not so bad because I'm gonna be top decking. I can also Daze to put a land back. And there's 15 cards in the yard. So we milled 2 Bowmasters. So we can expect maybe 1 to potentially come out in this match. Alright, we start Scolding. Alright. We might die if this last card is a Bowmaster, by the way. Ooh, that's not good. Daze. So I Daze. This is just so that I get more cards in the yard. Haha. If they top deck a creature, we lose. Uh-oh. Bombardment was a good draw. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Close game. Will my opponent top deck a creature? We'll find out. Ooh, so close. 6 cards remaining. 6 cards remaining. Do we want Long Goodbye? Maybe better than a Kitsune's Technique. I'm gonna go down on a copy of Surgical. I don't think it's like too necessary. Okay, this hand could be good. We have a Hydroponics Architect start with the Daze. And we can just kind of protect it to draw some cards early. This probably means that opponent started with a 1-lander, potentially. Or they just don't want to get dazed? Maybe they could be playing around daze, you know? They could be playing around daze. That's a thing. Ooh, the milling has started. The milling has started. Okay, so... Wow. What could their hand be? It's kind of surprising. Okay, let's see if I can draw more, like, Tidecolors or something like that. Under? Yep. Okay, we got a Stern Scolding and a Fatal Push. Oh man, this game actually might be over. We have 30 cars. I feel like the Hydroponics Architect actually attacked too much. This is a good one though. I feel like I probably want to top the Fatal Push though. Maybe not since I have a Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, that's a good one. $21 cars remaining. So I guess we hold full no, the full control doesn't work. No. We can do. Does this work, by the way? This doesn't. It doesn't work. Okay. Okay, I mean, we can surgical on opponent's turn, so we can just surgical whatever the Chthonian Nightmare is trying to hit. Okay, the Tidecaller, my first time playing with the card, is insane, by the way. The card's insane. There it is. Tidecaller. Oh, they have a force of negation. Force of will, I mean. So they have a force of will. Another one. They might force a will this though. Just because Dragon Ray Challenger is already flying. No! That's so strange. Oh, they have another one. Sure. Another one. Okay, 2 Carter's gone. Ooh, a force of will of my own, you say. That's pretty cool. I think I'm going to use the Hydroponics Architect for the force of will feed. Guessing like cutters coming down. 3 cutters, huh? Let's see. Okay, we need to 12. This is 12. This is 13, 16, 19. So they have 19 cards. That's a lot of cards. Am I gonna die before the Dragon Ray Challenger though? That's kind of the thing, like, am I gonna die before the Dragon Ray Channeler? Okay, triple cutters are gone, so we probably don't want to... We probably don't have to expect the cutter coming down. The fact that they, like, have that breeding pool there, kind of strange. They're most likely going to counter this, but we'll see. Yeah, that's what I thought. Every time they surveil, they are closer to dead. Every card they draw, they're also closer to being dead. 29 cards. After these 2 triggers, it's gonna be 23, and then they're gonna draw plus surveil. 22. And then brainstorms, that's gonna be another 6 cards. Ten cards remaining. I can still die, that's the thing. 9 cards remaining. Oh, why did I top this? Oh no, I was trying to top this. I messed up. No. That's actually really bad. That's actually really, really bad what happened. I needed to top this. Ooh. I think I have to... Nah, if I get the Loris back, I shock myself, so... That was so bad, by the way. I think I might actually have lost because of that. I don't think I can top this. I need to find a spell. Like a cantrip. Like a treasure cruise. That's a good one. Oh my god, that was too close. Okay, I feel like my game has been a little bit sluggish today, by the way. I don't know, it doesn't feel smooth. Okay, we're gonna add 2 copies of Long Goodbye. We're also gonna add Sogai Lanterns. Not sure about the surgical. Also, I can't click this, by the way. I can't click the surgical. Every time I click something on the surgical, like there's like bubbles showing up on the right side. I don't know if you can see that. I actually couldn't sideboard out unless I'm in this screen. I don't think I'm gonna need Kitsune here, since they don't play that many like expensive cards. I don't know if I want to Kitsune myself and like 2 for 1 against like a counter spell, so I can see myself like going down on the Force of Will. Try that. Ruin Crab is good. Daze is good. Archive Trap is good. This hand might be a keep. I think I'm... They could have a Daze, but I don't think I'm going to play around it. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe that is wrong, because I just gave them Delirium, thinking about it. Yeah, thinking about it, I just gave them Delirium. Maybe that is wrong. Well, I have 1 land anyways. Just put that back. They have a Force of Will. I mean, let's be real. Even if I didn't mill them, they would have had Delirium the following turn since they had a Mishra's Bauble anyways. I don't think it would have mattered. I just need a... something to answer this Dragon Ray Chandler. Like a Long Goodbye or a Fatal Push. I mean, Soul Guide Lantern does it. Okay, Corey Steelcutter is actually really bad for me though. That is a bad one. For sure. Oh no, that is really, really bad. Do you think I can, like, Tasha's Hideous Laughter? Do you think it'll kill them? Should I try brainstorming into a daze and then daze my own brainstorm? I don't even think that's even that great, so... What to do here? I do need to draw this. Thing is, I might die here. We have a fatal push. I don't know if I can shock. That's the thing. That's the thing here. Go to 5. No, go to 4. Then I die to exactly Corey Steelcutter. I mean, I think I kind of just have to do it, and I just can't play around days here. Please. No. It's a... Oh, they just got a daze. Oh. I mean, honestly, I was too low. That's the thing. I was too low. Alright. Let's try that again. We have a Tidecaller plus a Daze and Force Will. It's a lot of mill. So we can Daze and Force of Will. How much do we care about this, by the way? I think we let it go. Another Tidecaller? That's pretty good. See what opponent does. I think I will counter this because I need a land. And I might have to force a will if they do something here. I don't really want to, actually. Why did they Fluster Storm? Wait, what? Opponent? Excuse me? Opponent? What? Why'd you Fluster Storm the Surgical? I dazed it. Oh no. So there's gonna be 4 cars in the yard. So I need to at least mill myself once for this treasure cruise. For the next turn. So 3 strip mines gone. I hope I can treasure cruise next turn. I'm taking this damage, right? Since they can... Can they kill this? So they put a... land at the graveyard, and then they... Nah. I think maximum... They can have 3 cards at maximum, right? I don't think there's like... Unless they play something like Consider. Okay, unironically, Daze was absolutely insane draw. Wait, but then... Dragon Ray Chandler transforms again. Oh my god. Wait a minute. Dragon Ray Chandler transforms again. It's gonna be a close game again. 19 cards. We actually drew a Fatal Push. I'm so lucky, by the way. I'm just letting you guys know. If you play this deck, I don't know if you're gonna have the same performance as me, because I know I'm getting really lucky here. Archive Trap? Ooh. So This is gonna be rough, huh? Oh, the last card's Lightning Bolt. How am I gonna mill 11 cards? I'm surprised they did that. But they would have died anyways, right? Because I could have just dazed my own brainstorm. Wow. Down to literal wire. If I didn't win there, opponent won. Right, we took a look at Mill today. Video's a little bit shorter today because I have some things to take care of this week, and 2 of the matches just took way too long. I don't know, maybe it's just kind of a nature of the deck. The matches just take too long when you play something like a Mill. I think it's because I'm always checking graveyard plus opponent's deck size, things like that. So I think that's probably why the games took so long. So a couple of things to mention. The time I spent with the Tidecaller, this card has been absolutely killer. So not only does this do the things that you want this card to do, which is milling your opponent, but you can also mill yourself to support your treasure cruise. So potentially this deck might want additional copy of a treasure cruise. Potentially. But from what I played, 2 copies was just enough. But like I said, it does have a really good synergy with this card. So just something to keep in mind. And then we have, obviously, the Ruin Crab. And then you daze, and then you can play the land back again, which will also trigger the Tidecaller. What's really sick here is if you pair the Ruin Crab with the Hydroponics Architect, you can now kind of double dip the draw land back into your hand, play that again, and then trigger the Ruin Crab again. So we got some synergy going on here, which is really cool. And because we played 12 copies of creatures, the Kitsune's technique also becomes really good. We milled energy decks half their deck using the Kitsune technique because we know opponent doesn't run any like counter spells and things like that. So this was also great because we had so many creatures. Although in game 2 and 3, now that the jig is up, sometimes you're not going to be able to attack with these cards. And the Kitsune's technique does become a lot worse, especially against like something like an Is It? But I'm just kind of trying it out. It's okay. So far, it's been okay. And potentially this also could become higher value if you play against like higher CMC decks, such as like Mono Red, for instance. Tasha's Hideous Laughter isn't as good like if you play this against Mono Red. Like Mono Red Stompy and something like a Sneak and Show, they have a lot of high cost cards, like Emrakul, things like that. So that's when like Tasha's Hideous Laughter obviously becomes really, really bad. So the Kitsune's technique is just going to become a lot better in those kind of matchups. So that's why we see like 2 and 2 split here. And what's really funny about this deck is the count of the non-creature mill spells are so low. The fact that we can consistently get there milling your opponent's deck because of this Tidecaller is actually kind of crazy. Because the Tidecaller turns any spells into a mill spell. So that includes like Brainstorm, Ponder, Fatal Push, and counter spells. That's why turn 1 Tidecaller into Daze is so strong. Just because it gets rolling, right? It gets rolling. So that's been really good. Another thing is, this deck isn't running Strip Mine, but instead we're playing a Field of Ruin. Obviously, if you played Mill deck, this is probably a no-brainer. because the Field of Ruin forces a search from opponent and then you can archive trap. So I couldn't fit Strip Mines in the deck, but we have a copy of a Mystic Sanctuary so that we can bounce this card with our days here. And considering that our mill count, non-creature mill count is actually pretty fairly low, you know, getting back another like Archive Trap or Tasha's Hideous Laughter, things like that, it can become actually pretty good. So yeah, bit of a surprise one. The deck was definitely better than I expected. The fact that we can go toe-to-toe with Energy and Izzet opponent here was a good showing. But like I said, during the match, I did say I was getting lucky. My draws were very good in these matches. So just keep that in mind. And my opponent also kind of misplayed here and there. So there's also that as well. So yeah, a little bit of a short video today. Like I said, I have to take care of something. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.